welcome back to Movie Review Mom. I'm the mom, and today the movie I'm reviewing is A Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting. I just finally watched this, even though it came out in October, so I'm a little bit late on the draw here. But I wanted to tell you about it. First of all, it's playing on Netflix. It's rated PG, it's an hour and 38 minutes, and I'll tell you the grade that I'm giving it at the very end of my review. In a quick nutshell, this is a pretty cute, family friendly movie that addresses every child's fear of going to bed at night, right? Monsters in the closet, monsters under the bed. The movie is directed by Rachel Talalay and written by Joe Ballerini. He actually adapted the screenplay from his first trilogy of young adult novels called A Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting. And that's always so fun to see an author who's so involved with the production of the film. The CGI and style of the movie kind of reminded me of the Jack Black editions of Goosebumps, adapted from the books and turned into movies. They're pretty fun, fast going, lots of action, definitely designed for kids. So, speaking of kids, here are some tips for parents. There are some spooky moments, but the monsters aren't really very scary. They kind of look like that creature in the toe fungus commercial on the TV ads. Have you seen that? The heroine is great at math and a very quick thinker. So that makes her a really good role model, especially for your daughters. Because of the target audience, kids, you can expect lots of burping and farting and oohs. Kids will be able to relate to the feelings that are expressed in the movie by some of the other kids, notably going to bed, monsters, scary things, and that kind of thing. Although one of the girls says, I'm really scared by things that are on Twitter. Well, she should be. There's some pretty frightening things on Twitter, especially lately during our presidential election in the United States. But that's another thing. Kids will actually love the idea of a secret society, and the monster hunters themselves value math and science and helping others. So I really like that. Now, some positive themes that are worth talking about with your kids if you watch this with them are nightmares. I had my oldest son would get night terrors. I didn't even know what a night terror was. It's pretty terrifying. He would just wake up just crying and then kind of like almost be in a trance where I couldn't console him. And then finally he would snap out of it. And it was really strange, but they don't go into that in this movie. But other themes are courage, embracing your nerdiness, family, what it feels like to not be taken seriously or have people believe you, teamwork, and caring for those who need help. Now, some things that I liked about the movie are, first of all, the two young starlets, Tamara Smart and Una Lawrence, are enjoyable and did a good job with their roles. And they're young, and if they keep developing their craft, they could actually be pretty good. There's plenty of humor for young kids, although not so much for adults. And honestly, I think young kids will definitely appreciate this movie more than the parents who might have to sit through it. Fans of Tom Felton from Harry Potter fame will definitely get a kick out of his over the top performance and may not even recognize him at first because of all of his makeup and costume and all of that. Kids will like the upbeat music and all of the action and adventures. Some of the CGI is pretty good, others not so much. And if you enjoy this movie, then you'll be happy to know that the movie ends perfectly with a setup for a sequel. And because the film is based on a trilogy of books, you know that there will be many more to come. Now, there were some things I didn't like about the movie. And first of all, there's some really dumb dialogue, tons and tons of cliches. The movie title uses the same font as Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, but the movies are very different in tone and everything else. There were some bad acting moments, but almost everyone in the cast is young, so they're just learning their craft, as I mentioned. I thought it was interesting when and the mom offered $15 an hour for the babysitter. And I'm just thinking, is that what the going rate is now? It's been a while since I've had to pay for a babysitter. And I don't know if that seems right or not. The minimum age in Las Vegas, where I live, is $8.75 an hour. So parents and teens might get the wrong idea. And in fact, there's a whole discussion between two babysitters. Oh, you're not getting $200 an hour? What? I thought that was so unreasonable. But then, of course, everything is kind of over the top in this movie. There's a lot of exposition explaining things, but kids will actually need some of that to understand the backstories and what's going on. That's actually often what happens when an author is involved in the screenwriting process. We're kind of asked to just all of a sudden be in love with these characters, but we really haven't gotten any time to get to know them really. We're not really given a whole lot of information about the characters, and they're really more cliched tropes than real people. And the entire movie kind of feels like it was created from a fill in the blank template for kids' movies. It felt really rushed, and if the budget had allowed, it would have actually made for a really nice kind of a TV series so that we would have time to get to know the characters, fall in love with them, root for them, understand them, and all of that kind of stuff to get us to really care more about them. The movie just kind of started to wear on me, and I found myself looking at the clock a few times to see when it was going to end. And that's kind of what I mean by young kids might think it's really fun and get wrapped up in it, and parents will be entertained for a little while, and then it'll just kind of start to get kind of old. For those wanting a one and done movie, they'll be disappointed that the movie does not wrap everything up nicely with a bow. And as I mentioned, it's set up for a sequel. So we don't have all of the answers to the questions that we might have for this movie. The movie does do a good job of pulling in some of the elements of what teenagers experience in their day-to-day life, including crushes on boys and rivalries between girls and that kind of thing. There was kind of a funny line in the movie where two of the girls go to this party, and it's a costume party because this is around the time of Halloween. And one of the girls looks at one of the cute popular girls who's dressed up like a cat. And then the kind of the edgy babysitter leader, she says, since the dawn of time, every girl who thought she was hot has worn a cat costume. I think that might be the only line that actually made me laugh out loud. And no, I never wore a cat costume. Now, I do have some recommendations, and be sure and click down below. If you buy or rent the videos using my links, that actually helps support my channel. And so I really appreciate it. So the movies that I think are somewhat comparable that your kids might enjoy are Coraline, Goosebumps, any of the Goosebumps movies, and Hocus Pocus, since we just had Halloween, but your kids will still be eating that Halloween candy and maybe haven't seen it yet. All right, that's it for my review. I hope if you watch this movie with your kids, you enjoy it, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.